Have you ever felt like someone wanted you to pick one thing? Are you a photographer or an educator? Wait, you have a podcast too? I thought you worked for the chamber. Oh, you're doing UGC now? It's funny because people usually ask those questions like they're trying to solve a mystery. And for a long time, I felt like I had to explain myself. Today, I want to tell you why I stopped explaining and why embracing every part of who you are might actually be the best business decision you've ever made. Hey, friends, welcome back to The One Behind the Lens, the podcast where we talk about photography, creativity, marketing, and building a business that actually fits your life. I'm Kate DeCoste, photographer, educator, podcast host, and apparently a professional collector of side quests. If you've ever felt guilty because you have too many ideas, if you've ever wondered if you're hurting your business because you're interested in more than one thing, this episode is for you. I think somewhere along the way, we learned that successful people are supposed to have one identity. Doctors are doctors, teachers are teachers, photographers are photographers. Simple, neat, easy. But creatives, we're rarely built that way. We're curious. We like trying new things. We love learning. We get excited about projects. And then somewhere, someone says, "You're all over the place." Yeah. I didn't start as a photographer. I started in theater. And if I really back up to where I really started, I really started in music and just basically performing for anyone that would watch or for no one. But as my professional career, I started out in theater. I was a stage manager. So I coordinated people, solved problems, I read the room. I stayed calm under pressure, even though inside I was not. And guess what? I still use those skills during every single portrait session. Then photography became my career, then education, then speaking, then podcasting, then marketing, then content creation, then working with the chamber. Someone looking from outside might think, wow, she can't decide. But here's what I know now: they're all connected. Every one of them makes me better at the others. Your passions cross pollinate. I love that phrase because your passions don't compete. They feed each other. Photography taught me storytelling. Theater taught me directing people. Podcasting taught me interviewing and conversation. Marketing taught me communication. UGC taught me short form video. The chamber taught me community building. And guess what happened? Every single business got stronger, not weaker. So the lie about niching. Now, before somebody clips this episode and says, "Kate, said don't niche," that's not what I'm saying. Your audience needs to understand what problem you solve. And I'm sure you have heard that phrase. Like, what is the problem that you are going to solve as a photographer or as a marketer or whatever your business is? That's marketing. But you don't have to become one dimensional. There's a difference. Your business can have clarity while your life has variety. The big thing about niche is I think we start to pigeonhole ourselves in say you're a photographer and you love photographing weddings and seniors and families, and then someone tells you that you need to pick a niche. Now, then you're thinking, can I only photograph these one things? No. If you love those things, you definitely can still photograph those. You can definitely market, but I would definitely market the things that you love. So if you are a portrait photographer and you love high school seniors, but you still shoot weddings and you still shoot families and you still shoot headshots, what you wanna show is your seniors. If that is what you love, that's what you want people to know you for, that is what you wanna show, and then that is where you want to think about that problem solving in your marketing. So, what do high school seniors wanna hear about? What do their parents wanna hear about? And that's when you think about niching. Time out, friends. If you're a photographer, how many different platforms are you using to run your business? Editing software, client galleries, contracts, invoicing, your website, a CRM. What if you could bring it all together? That's exactly what Visco One does. It's built for photographers and helps you manage your clients, book sessions, send contracts and invoices, edit, deliver galleries, and even showcase your work, all from one connected platform. If you're ready to simplify your workflow and spend more time creating, I've included my Visco One referral link in the show notes. Go check it out and see how it can transform the way you run your photography business. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is because they think changing direction means they failed. No, sometimes it just means you've grown. The photographer who starts teaching didn't quit photography. The photographer who starts a podcast didn't abandon photography. The business owner who opens another business isn't distracted. They're expanding. Sometimes the next thing isn't replacing the first thing, it's supporting it. Now, here's the thing I hear a lot about is what if people get confused? And don't get me wrong, even just because last month I closed my studio location, I have definitely had a few people reach out, or if I've seen them, they're like, "Well, what are you doing now?" Well, I'm doing the same thing. I just don't have a studio. I'm still photographing seniors, still doing headshots, still have a podcast, all of the things I'm still doing, but I'm just doing it in a different way. So, when people are thinking about all of that, you just have to make sure that you are putting out there what actually is happening. So if you are starting a new journey into another business or another little side hustle and you start promoting that, just make sure you are still promoting the other things that you're doing. People are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. They know Nike sells shoes and clothing and equipment. They know Disney makes movies, owns cruise ships, and theme parks. People can understand that humans have layers too. You just have to explain how everything connects. You know what's actually dangerous? Ignoring the thing that keeps pulling at you. That idea that you keep pushing away. That project you secretly want to start, that class, that podcast, that YouTube channel, that painting, that product, because someone once told you you should focus. Sometimes focusing isn't saying no to everything. Sometimes it's knowing which season deserves the most attention. I love thinking about business in seasons. There have been seasons where photography was 95% of my world. Then there were seasons where education became a little bigger, Right now, it's podcasting, marketing, photography, UGC, community. They're all playing different roles. Not equally, but intentionally. You don't have to give every passion equal time. You just have to give each one permission to exist. Maybe this episode is the permission you've been waiting for. You're allowed to have multiple passions. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to surprise people. You're allowed to outgrow versions of yourself. And you're allowed to build a business that doesn't fit inside someone else's neat little box. This week, I want you to make a list. Not of your income streams, not of your goals, your passions, everything that lights you up. Then ask yourself, how could one of these things make another one stronger? I bet you'll find connections you've never noticed before. At the end of the day, you don't have to become less interesting to become more successful. Sometimes the very thing you've been trying to hide is the thing that makes you uncomfortable. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If this episode made you feel seen, I'd love it if you'd share it with another creative who has way too many tabs open in their brain. Also, make sure to like this episode and to subscribe. Until next time, keep showing up, keep creating, and remember, the best businesses that you'll ever build is the one that actually looks like you.